What's going on, guys? It's Ronald Dominic, aka Ronnie Does Forex, and today we're gonna be back testing another currency pair. I think today we're gonna let's do the Euro New Zealand. Here's the charts. We're gonna start all the way back here. We using the same algorithm that we have, a baseline. I believe it's a T3 baseline. We have our Fisher's transform, which is our first indicator with these arrows, lets us know whether to go up or down. Our second confirmation indicator is the rune up and down, and also we have the absolute strength as our volume indicator. I don't even know if that's a right volume indicator or if it even does volume at all, but don't judge me. I'm not a pro at this at all, so this is not financial advice. I just want to document my journey on doing this foreign exchange market trading and doing it the no nonsense forex way, and I just want people to see what somebody like me who's not a pro trader, see how well they do in the market. And feel free to take this how you will. Don't copy me, because we might have a lot of losses, because I have no clue what I'm doing. I kind of know what I'm doing. I did watch all the no nonsense forex stuff and learned how to do the trading that way, and I liked it, so we're gonna get into it. All right, so we're gonna start here where it first starts, right here. As you can see, we're above the baseline, and also we have the trend indicator telling us to go up. So but the rune isn't, doesn't come into play till about here, so we're kind of late on it. We are 7 days late, but if we would have taken that, it would have been a nice little run up right there. We don't get another signal till about here, so this would have been a continuation trade. It would have traced back about 130 pips, probably 140, and then hit about 200 right here. The ATR at that point was 154, so I don't think we would have got stopped out, and then we would have been at the top of this 154. We would have hit our first take profit, and then it tells us to exit here, which we would have already probably hit our break-even stop loss when we changed it. And then this is where it tells us to go downwards, but let's see how many days we are past the first confirmation indicator and the rune. We're setting in play if the rune and our first confirmation indicator are more than 7 days. If they both have to be past 7 days, it's if they go past 7 days before we get a full signal to either buy or sell, we're skipping it. So we wouldn't have taken this trade because of that rule, but we might have won it still if we got in at the very end. This goes about 140 pips. If we would have got in here, it was 119, so it might have been a little win, but that would have been very sketchy, because then it immediately went the opposite way. All right, so now we're going buy. We get a full signal about here. Let's see, we went about 120 pips past the baseline, so I already could tell this is going to be a loss, because 120 pips and then the ATR was 138, so we would have got into that. That would have been a loss right there. Ooh, it looks like it's going to be a lot of losses right here. This would have been a full buy signal right here. That would have been the loss. Jesus. This isn't looking too good on this one, guys. All right, this also would have been a loss. I mean, this went up to about, no, the rune didn't cross yet, so we would have gotten here where it crosses. This is 123 pips, and the ATR at that time was 110. We might have got away with a win there, maybe. That's kind of sketchy right here, that if it would have been triggered, yes, but it looked like it barely wicked up there and then came right back down, so that's kind of tough to tell. I don't know, so far it's not doing so well. All right, we get the rune confirmation here, but we don't get the trend to sell yet till right here on this one. So if we get in here, this would have been a win. 184 pips on a 108 pip ATR, and then we would have got a switch to sell signal or to buy here. This would have been a loss. This would have been a loss right here, because it would have immediately went back down, and then we get the trend trade reversing this way. I think this would have been a win. This would have been a win right here. That's cool. We'll take that. the rune switches up here, and then we get the first confirmation indicator agreeing, everything else agrees, so does the absolute strength. This would have been a win. Nice. We get a sell signal right here, so we would have exited here if we weren't already out. And then we get this candle where it tells us to buy, and then look how huge this candle was. If we would have went in there, we would have dropped down about, let's see, at the most 211 pips after 7 days. So that might have, yeah, the ATR was 87, so that might have been a loss depending on where we got in. If we would have waited the next day, we might have had a little more leeway, but yeah, that could have been a loss, but which sucks because we would have won all of this. So far, we're not doing too well. We might have to tweak a little something on this. And then we get the sell signal here, the rune sells here, but we don't get full confirmation of everything else till here. So how many days is that? Well, this to the rune is 6 days. Now 7 days. We might have passed on this one, which sucks also because we would have won all this. So maybe we got to tweak a little something on here. It did pretty well on the other pair, on the GBP USD, but this one not so much. And then we get a continuation trade right here, which we would have done right there, which I think we would have hit our first take profit, small profit. Yeah, 130. We would have barely got to it, just barely. Yeah, but I'll take that win. And then it switches right here, right? It kind of peaks up here. That's kind of hard to say. If we get in, we might get in around here. Will give us the benefit of the doubt, and then we would hit a take profit, and then we would have probably got stopped out at our break even, but which sucks because we would have missed out on all of this. And then the trend switches right here, but we don't get no confirmation until here. This we probably would have bought. We would have bought this. Most likely would have been a loss right before it won. Yeah, so we might need to do some tweaking on this one because it's not the greatest yet. I don't know what to change. Right here we would have got in at this candle. We would have won this one. Would have won this one. That would have been cool. And then we would have exited here. I don't know if you guys can see. We'll zoom in a little bit more just so we can see a little better. Sell signal we don't take because it's above the baseline. This would have been a confirmation. Yeah, this would have been a continuation trade that we would have lost. We would have lost that. This on this pair is taking a lot more losses. What do we need to do to make sure this is right? Because it goes down. This is where a full sell signal would be, but we're way too far. Wouldn't have gotten in that at all. We would have missed all of this. That's a lot of pips. That's like 700 pips right there. What do we tweak? Because the baseline is it's kind of too slow, giving us slower signals on this one. Wouldn't have gotten in here because the absolute strength this doesn't agree. This one right here, this is where we get like a full signal, but we might have been too late for it. Do we trade it after this trends? Because the rune never crossed back over, so I don't know if we would have taken that. But if we did, we would have got a little nice profit. Because look at this, is where one of those crashes happened. That's crazy. That would have been a lot if we were in it, but I don't know. We kind of might not have because of how far the rune was when it first crossed over, and it never crossed over here, but it did go back over the line about here. So I don't know. So far we're not doing too well on this one. We wouldn't have taken this. Wouldn't have taken that. We would have sold here. This might have been a sell. I mean, we're 8 candles back here, but the rune is only 1 day out, and our rule for the 7 candle rule is both our first and second confirmation indicator have to be more than 7 days behind. If we would have taken that, we would have won a little bit. The ATR at the time was 180, so we would have hit first take profit and then some. Wouldn't have exited out till about here, but then the rune also crossed back over right here. So but I think we would have won this, and then we would have hit our break even. So we would have probably tried to take this trade as a continuation, and that would have been a loss. But yeah, we need to tweak this pair a little bit. Algorithm's not as great as we thought it was. especially compared to the other back testing that we did. So there's a buy signal here, and then we finally cross over. The absolute strength finally agrees here, but we are way too far out. The rune is about 6 days late, 7 days, depends on what day you're looking at. If we would have took it, we might have won, but it seems like we probably might have been too far out for that. Yeah, which would have been nice because we would have won this. And then we get a sell signal right here. This one sucks. Yeah, we're losing a lot on this pair. Yeah, the Euro New Zealand. Boom. Immediate loss. Immediate loss. Didn't even get a chance to go the other way. And then we get a buy signal from the rune, but we don't get the confirmation till here. That would have been an immediate loss too. Wow. We are not looking good on this pair, guys. Not gonna lie. But this is why we backtest. So we get the trend signal here, but the absolute strength doesn't agree until here. So we would have bought this. I think we would have bought this, which would have been a nice little win. 530 pips. Jesus, this pair moves. 134 pip ATR. We get an exit here, and then we get a continuation trade right here. So take this, it would have dropped down 130, 140 pips. I think we would have hit our profit right here, hit first profit, and then we would have hit our break even. And then there's a trend switch right here, which we wouldn't have got in yet because it didn't go past our baseline. Goes past our baseline right here, and the absolute strength also tells us to go. We probably would have bought that as a switch, but look what happens. Boom. Loss. We're definitely losing a lot more on this pair. Definitely losing a lot more on this pair. We wouldn't have gotten in here. We would have gotten in here, and that would have been immediate loss. We would have gotten here. This would have been a loss. Not even close. Wow, we would have gotten demolished on this pair. Wow. Yep. We would have gotten here. 130 pip redraw, and then 100 pip. I think we would have lost on that one too. 104 pips. We would have got in here. This goes to 100. No, we would have barely missed the first take profit. We got destroyed on this pair. Is it just this pair? Because when we tested it on the GBP USD, we did really well, but this one we got destroyed. What could we do to make this better on this pair? Because it seems like the signals were giving us late signals. Let's see, the TMA on our baseline is 100. So we're going really slow on these prices. Let's see, what does the shift do? What does shifting it do? Shifting it didn't do much. It just dropped it down a little bit. Let's go back to 0. Let's see, maybe we could try to get faster buy signals, trend signals. Let's go to 14. We would have gotten these. Do we speed it up? Like I said, guys, I am not a professional at this. I'm trying to figure it out. So if you're new to Forex and you're trying to be like me and try to learn how to win this industry, then by all means, try to learn with me. Teach me something if you can. Let's trade this. Let's see what the rune does. Okay, we would have got in here instead. This might have been little something. We went 14 on there. Boom. 147 pips on that ATR that day. We would have hit that. We would have hit that the very next day, which is cool. That wasn't bad. Wouldn't have got in here. Wouldn't have got in here. Maybe have gotten here. Boom. That would have been 145 pips. Let's see what the ATR was. 121. So nice. That would have been a little win. It's already looking good. From here at least. We would have won after 4 days. And then we get a buy signal here. It kind of crosses the line on the rune. But if not, if we would have waited to the next day, we would have went here. It drew back 129 pips. Let's see what the ATR was at that day. 148. So we wouldn't have hit our stop loss but we would have hit our first take profit. It was 149 pips. It goes up to about 180. So yeah, it's already looking better. And then we would have got a sell signal here. This would have been a loss. Yep. No way we would have hit a first take profit. And then the exit indicator was way out here. That would have been a loss if we would have bought the reverse. 83 went down, goes down to here. I mean, at the most it went up to 119 on that count, 127. So the ATR at that point was 117. So maybe, depending on whether or not it filled. There's a sell here, we wouldn't have taken that. There's another trend right here, but the rune never crosses again. If we would have taken it, we might have gotten away with a win there. Might have. So you never know. I don't know yet if if the rune still doesn't cross, but our first confirmation indicator gives us a buy or a sell signal. Do we still take it? That's the question. Now this is where we get another signal to go short, and then we would have dropped down 84 pips and then went up to about 136, 148 on this wick right here. The ATR on this was 110, so I think we would have won that. And then we would have broke even. I mean, this is kind of better already. All right, volume here, we would have got in here. That would have went up to about 170. ATR, boom, 100. Yep, that was a win, right? I mean, tweaking this definitely helped. We get a sell signal here, but we're above the baseline, and so we wouldn't take that. We get this right here. This would have been a loss because it immediately retracted. Yep, we would have got out here if we didn't already get stopped out, which I think we most likely would have. But then we do get a sell signal right here. Ooh, that would have been a nice win. It looks like we're winning more. And then we get a buy signal here, crosses the baseline. This was 3 days ago where we first got the first confirmation indicator. I don't know about the rune, but we're within the 7 days. We would have taken that. Everything agrees. That would have been a win. I like it so far. We wouldn't have gotten in here because we're not below the baseline. We would have gotten in this right here after the trend tells us to go long. Went back 120 pips, but then we would have won. Let's see what the ATR was at that time. 97, half of that. That's almost 100. So I think we would have had enough space to go all the way down here, 117, and then make it all the way back up to this, which would have been nice. The tweaks, at least it's helping. So we get a sell signal or a buy signal here. Go long. We probably would have lost this one. Yep, we would have lost that one. And then the trend switches, but we don't get the baseline till right here. Now we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It was kind of, if we follow the rules, bridge too far, we wouldn't have gotten in this trade, which sucks because we would have won. That sucks that we didn't. All right, so we get a buy signal here. Nope, don't get anything. We have a short signal here. I don't know, 128 on the ATR, 147 right here on the ATR, excuse me. And then it goes back 137, so we wouldn't have got stopped out. And then we would have hit a profit. On this one at least. And then we get a reverse signal, and then we get another sell signal. We would have got in here. This would have been a loss. Yep, that would have been a loss for sure. Then we get another sell signal here. This most likely would have been another loss because this peaked out at about 169 pips. This is 120. So half of that 60, 120 plus 60 would have been 180 pips. I don't know. We might have not have gotten stomped out. I don't know. If not, we could have made. We might have. We might have, I don't know. That's something we would have to seen play out in person. And then we get spy signals here, here, but we are too far out. If we followed the rules, we wouldn't have taken that. But this would have, which sucks because we would have won. Our baseline is kind of keeping us out a little bit. Do we shorten our baseline a little to give us more buy signals to get in earlier? Because this is where we would have got in here. That might have been a win. 140, 149 pips. Yep, the ATR was 80 on here. That would have been nice. We would have won that. We would have gotten in here, which would have been a loss, which sucks because we would have got all that. We should have gotten in here, and then maybe we wouldn't have lost that and still have been able to get in. So yeah, so far this isn't the greatest on this pair. Yeah, we get a lot of false signals on this one. I don't know, we might have to rethink our algorithm a little bit or tweak a few things. And then sell, well, yeah, so far we're like 1 out of 2. The GBP USD worked really well, but the Euro New Zealand, not so much. So let me know what you guys think about it. Let me know what settings you guys use for this currency pair. And maybe I could tweak this a little bit to see if we can make it work. But if not, we might have to stay out of this pair with this algorithm. So, but anyways, I just want to say thank you guys for tuning in. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what your thoughts are on this algorithm. Let me know what you think I could do to make this better. And I'll see you guys on the next video. Peace. We got destroyed.